network. So I like this slide because it's interesting in the way that it kind of brings what used to be a very safe, almost anonymous, because the people that you were reacting with and building relationships with, you weren't necessarily people you were going to stumble across in the supermarket the next morning or at the corner shop. But actually, the world is becoming smaller as well as bigger. The world is becoming smaller. And we know also from looking at the kind of research done, particularly on young people's use of social network services, is that they're not online. They're not online to necessarily broaden their horizons, find new experiences. They're actually mainly online after school, talking to the kids that they've been talking to all day at school, and they're using it to shore up and develop their existing relationships rather than to break out and to find new people. It's very good in some ways. This is just a screenshot of my connections from Twitter, and I've included this one. It's just a random shot of some connections. I included this one really just to think about the ways in which actually the stuff that we put out about ourselves, so the drunken revelries that we get up to, or whatever it might be, whether it's very professional or whether it's very social, or whether it's advisable or not. Actually, it's not just about us and the information that we put out about ourselves, especially within social networks, where the defining feature of a social network is your connection to other people and your conversations and your communications between other people. What matters now is not just what I say about myself, because I can say anything about myself, and nobody would necessarily believe it, but also it's very critical to think about what other people are saying about us and how they're representing us and how they're interpreting our representations of ourselves as well, because they're playing a very, very important part. And really to ram home the point that if you don't take an active role in your representation, in how you're identified online, then other people will. So ungoogleable man is not necessarily safe just because he doesn't go online. He may well have a very nice set of photo albums on Facebook about him that he doesn't know about because he's never logged in. Okay. So to talk about geolocation services a little bit. This is these are the two of the market leaders at the moment, Foursquare and Goala. And these are kind of social networks, but they're mainly accessed through mobile devices. So I've got them on my mobile device here. I've got them on my, and I can log into the site. It will use GPS to work out where I am, and it will offer me places that I might be near, or I can add additional places. So if I go onto Foursquare now, Phoenix Square will come up as a location because somebody's already put it into the location, and I can check in there. And what I do by checking in there is I let my network know that I am in this place. Okay, so that could be very, very useful in many ways. So for example, if I'm out and I know some of the friends are in town, I could click into my network, my other friends would get an alert. Oh, Josie's just found the corner, let's go and have a lovely cup of coffee, it will be fabulous. So there's lots of kinds of ways of using it, of which that's one kind of limited example. So there is the kind of networking element of it. There's also a gaming element to it. So you collect badges for various things. There was a report a little while ago where somebody stood outside King's Cross Station and offered people Mars bars for their email passwords, and they found that the majority of people took the Mars bar for the email password. But you don't even have to give Mars bars. All you have to give is electronic badges for things, and people will do quite a lot of things. So the whole thing about going to places, logging in, telling people where you are, collecting badges, building up your profile, is a kind of important gaming element of these kind of services. And Foursquare, if you go to somewhere more times than anybody else has been there, or you're there 3 times before anybody else has been there, you become the mayor of that place. So you have mayorship of that place, and that's another little reward for you engaging. You're laughing now, but some people get very serious about, no, that's my favourite cafe. Are you the mayor? Oh, it's you! I recognise you. I recognise you. There'll be 4 square wars. But what what I'm saying is we shouldn't underestimate actually the kind of social kudos in those.
The breaking news is that Facebook are now going
yes.
to territory today.
Yes, yeah, because today is the F8 Summit, F8 Summit, yeah, and which is the Facebook Developer Summit. That's right, and they are going with a company called Pocket Life, who are going to provide geolocation services within the network. So these kind of services, they do stuff like community, they do gaming things, and they do recommendations too, very importantly. So you can put something like, oh, this was a terrible restaurant, or this is a really good restaurant, or this museum was fantastic. They also, obviously, part of their business model is based around enticing people into places, giving them special offers, or you're the mayor, you get 10% off. I bet they don't do that here yet, do they? Just have a word with them. And these are kind of standalone sites, although they integrate into other services. So, for example, you can push through your status updates to Twitter or to another service and let everybody know where you are. But there are also a lot of other services. And I think geolocation services are really, really critical at the moment to keep an eye on because they are on the rise. Google has Latitude, which is their kind of social networking geolocation thing. And as was pointed out, Pocket Life is coming to Facebook too, which will do this, have the same kind of functionality, allow people to say, oh, I'm here, show it on your, display it on your profile, or send it to people that you have identified as being okay to see that, coming to Facebook. So one of the early reasons for this was this great site called Please Rob Me, which aggregated all of those status updates from Twitter and other services, and said in a site that said basically, well, these people aren't at home. They're letting everybody know where you are. Now the site's actually been shuttered now. They did come in for a lot of criticism, especially ethically, over the ethics of taking publicly available information out of context which may not have been so prominent and drawing attention to it. And there's some ethical issues, I think, you could argue around that. But I think what's funnier is Foursquare's response to it was that actually people have got too unsecurity minded about definitions of who their friends and who their networks are, and actually it's a good thing to have geolocation services because it makes them have to reevaluate their issues with their friends' networks and who they trust and how they put out information, which I thought was a perfect response from a company that makes money from getting people to publish their location information publicly. But there's on the Please Rob Me site shuttered now, but there are a couple of really good papers that went up around protecting yourself using geolocation services and privacy that are linked to from that site now, so you should go check them out if you're interested in geolocation. Okay, so the difference and the impact of moving things online to offline. Well, I'm very, very interested, as Sue said,